I'm standing in my kitchen when my sister calls. The Thursday afternoon light filters through the window, casting shadows across the countertop where my laptop sits open, quarterly reports half finished. I almost don't answer. Emma only calls during work hours when something's wrong. He cheated. Her voice comes through the speaker, flat and hollow. No tears, no hysteria. Just those two words delivered like a medical diagnosis. I set down my coffee mug with deliberate care. What? I ask. Austin. He's been sleeping with his secretary, Jessica. The one he said was just helping with organizing files. A bitter laugh from her. I found the hotel receipts in his car. 6 months worth, she says. My hand tightens around the phone until my knuckles go white. Austin. My brother-in-law of 8 years. Father to my niece and nephew. The man who gave that speech at their wedding about forsaking all others while looking into Emma's eyes. Where are you? I ask. Home. The kids are at school. Austin is at work. She pauses. Probably with her. I'm coming over, I say. No, Alexis, I needed to tell someone. I needed to say it out loud to make it real, she says. I grab my car keys anyway. I'm already out the door. I say. Emma's house looks exactly the same as it did 2 days ago when I stopped by for Sunday dinner. The same perfectly manicured lawn. The same expensive cars in the driveway, Austin's BMW, Emma's Mercedes SUV. The same facade of suburban success that hides the rot underneath. She opens the door before I knock. Her hair is pulled back in a messy ponytail, no makeup, wearing yoga pants and one of Austin's old college sweatshirts. My sister, who hasn't left the house without full makeup since high school, looks hollowed out. Show me. I say. She led me to the kitchen table where hotel receipts are spread out like evidence at a crime scene. The Riverside Inn. Every Thursday for the past 6 months. The same room number each time. Room 312. He has a standing reservation, Emma says, her voice eerily calm. Can you imagine? He books it like it's a dentist appointment. Thursday afternoons, 2 to 5 p.m. I pick up one receipt. Study the itemization. Room charge, champagne, strawberries. The same order every time. What are you going to do? I ask. Emma sinks into a chair. I confronted him this morning, before the kids woke up. He admitted everything. And? I ask. He cried, Alexis. He actually cried. Said it was a mistake, that Jessica meant nothing, that he loves me and the kids. She looks up at me, her eyes dry. He begged me to forgive him. Said he'd end it immediately. Something cold settles in my stomach. Emma, I say, but she interrupts. I'm going to try. The words come out quickly, defensively. For the kids. Lily's only 7. Dylan's 5. They need their father. They need a father who respects their mother, I reply. He made a mistake, she says. But I interrupt. 6 months of Thursdays isn't a mistake. It's a pattern. Emma stands abruptly. You don't understand. You've never been married. You don't have kids. You don't know how complicated this is. The words sting because they're designed to. Emma's always been good at that, redirecting her pain outward when it becomes too much to hold. You're right, I say carefully. I don't understand. But I understand that you deserve better than this. He's going to change. She wraps her arms around herself. He promised. I gather the receipts, stacking them neatly. Keep these. Document everything. Just in case. Just in case what? She asks. In case forgiveness isn't enough, I reply. 3 weeks later, Emma calls again. This time, she's crying. He's still seeing her. The words tumble out between sobs. I found text messages. He's been deleting them, but he forgot to delete the backup on his iPad. They're planning a weekend trip to Napa, while I'm supposed to take the kids to my parents. I got into my car within 10 minutes. When I arrive, Emma is sitting on her bedroom floor surrounded by printed text messages. The evidence of Austin's continued affair spread out like a map of betrayal. Look at this one. She hands me a page. Can't wait to have you all to myself this weekend. Your wife will never know. Emma's voice breaks. She calls me your wife, like I'm some obstacle to work around. I read through the messages. They're worse than I imagined. Not just physical affair confirmation, but emotional intimacy. Inside jokes. Future plans. Austin tells Jessica that he's only staying for the kids. That Emma is too focused on being a mother to be a wife anymore. What did his family say when you told them? I ask. Emma's silence answers before her words do. I haven't told them. Emma, I say. His mother already thinks I'm not good enough for him. This would just confirm it in her mind that I couldn't keep him satisfied, that I drove him away somehow. She says, I've met Austin's mother, Patricia, exactly twice. Both times, she made pointed comments about Emma's career, taking time away from the children, and how modern women don't understand what it takes to keep a marriage strong. As if infidelity is somehow the betrayed spouse's fault. So you're just going to keep pretending everything's fine? I ask. I'm going to try harder. Emma wipes her eyes. I'm going to be the wife he needs. I'll cut back my hours at work. I'll plan more date nights. I will. You'll what? Transform into a different person so he'll stop fucking his secretary. I ask, and the harshness of my words makes her flinch. This isn't your fault, I say more gently. You know that, right? Nothing you did or didn't do justifies this. Then why does it feel like it is? She looks up at me, her face crumpling. Why does it feel like I'm the one who failed? I sit beside her on the floor, pulling her into a hug while she cries into my shoulder. Over her head, I can see the photos on her dresser. Wedding photos. Baby photos. Family vacation photos. An entire life built on a foundation that's been rotting from the inside. That night, I lay awake in my apartment, staring at the ceiling. My phone glows with Emma's latest text. He came home with flowers. Said he's recommitting to our marriage. Maybe this time is different. But I've seen the text messages. I've seen the hotel receipts. And I know something Emma hasn't accepted yet. Austin isn't going to change. He's just going to get better at hiding it. The idea came to me at 2 a.m. Terrible, unethical, possibly illegal. But effective. I spent the next week researching DNA testing companies, laboratory letterhead templates, official-looking document formats. I create burner email accounts. I study the language used in real paternity test results. The fake DNA report takes me 3 days to perfect. Professionally formatted. Scientifically plausible. With enough technical jargon to sound legitimate to someone who isn't an expert. The results? Austin is allegedly excluded as the biological father of both children. Probability of paternity, 0%. I didn't plan to show it to Emma. That would destroy her in ways she doesn't deserve. But Patricia? Austin's mother, who thinks her son walks on water. Who already views Emma with barely concealed contempt. Patricia needs to see what kind of man her precious son really is. I mailed the envelope on a Wednesday. Plain manila envelope. No return address. Inside, the fake DNA report with a typed note on plain paper. Thought you should know what your son has been hiding. The affair is one thing, but lying about his own children? That's unforgivable. A concerned friend. The bomb detonates exactly 4 days later. Emma calls me at work, her voice panicked. Austin's mother showed up at the house this morning. She had some kind of DNA test? She's saying the kids aren't Austin's? Alexis, what is happening? Slow down. What exactly did she say? I ask. She burst in demanding to see the children. Screaming about bloodlines and deception, and how I've been lying to everyone for years. Emma's breathing comes in short gasps. Austin came home from work. They're in his office right now. I can hear them shouting. She added, and the following dialogue ensued between us. Emma, listen to me. That test is fake. What? How do you know? Because I'm the one who sent it. The silence stretches for 5 full seconds. You did what? I sent Patricia a fake DNA report. To make her think the kids aren't Austin's. Why would you, Alexis? What were you thinking? Through the phone, I hear doors slamming. Male voices raised in anger. I was thinking, I say carefully, that Austin's family needed to see him the way you've been forced to see him. As someone capable of deception. As someone who can't be trusted. By making them think I cheated? That I trapped him with children that aren't his. Patricia doesn't think you cheated. She thinks Austin is covering for you. That he's the noble one, raising another man's children without complaint. More shouting in the background. Austin's voice, Mother, this is insane. Those are my children. Patricia's response, shrill and accusatory. Then explain the test. Explain why someone would send this to me if it wasn't true. Emma, I say, this is your chance. While they're focused on the fake test, while Austin is scrambling to prove it's false, you can finally leave. You can get out while his family is questioning him instead of defending him. You used my children as pawns in your revenge scheme. I protected your children from growing up thinking that what Austin does is normal. That cheating is forgivable. That their mother's pain doesn't matter. I need to go. The line goes dead. I sit at my desk, staring at my phone. The reports I should be working on blur in front of me. What have I done? The next call comes 2 hours later. Not from Emma, but from an unknown number. You must be Alexis. The voice is male, cultured, with an edge of barely controlled rage. Austin's father, Robert. Speaking. I say, I don't know what kind of game you think you're playing, but sending false paternity tests to terrorize my family. False? I interrupt. So you've confirmed they're false. A pause. We will be confirming it. Austin is taking the children for real DNA testing tomorrow. He says. Wonderful. While you're at it, maybe ask Austin about the hotel receipts. Room 312 at the Riverside Inn. Every Thursday for the past 8 months. Or ask about Jessica Reynolds, his secretary. I'm sure she'd love to explain their relationship to the family. Another pause, longer this time. What did you say? He asks. Your son is a cheater, Robert. Has been for months. My sister forgave him, tried to save the marriage, tried to be better for him. And he kept lying. Kept sneaking around. So I decided his family should know exactly who they've been defending. And you thought sending a fake paternity test was the appropriate response? I thought Patricia needed to see her son as fallible. As capable of the kind of deception she's been accusing my sister of for years. Robert's breathing changes and becomes measured. The hotel receipts. Can you prove these? He asks. Emma has 6 months of receipts. Text messages. Email records. Everything. I see. A long silence. This conversation is over. He hangs up. 20 minutes later, Emma calls back. His father knows. Her voice sounds strange. Distant. Austin's father knows about the affair. He confronted Austin in front of Patricia. Asked about the hotel, about Jessica. Austin tried to deny it, but Robert kept pressing. What happened afterwards? I ask. Austin broke down. Admitted everything. The affair, the lies, all of it. Emma laughs, a sharp, bitter sound. Patricia started crying. Not because her son is a cheater, but because she's spent months defending him to her friends. She's humiliated. And you? I ask. Robert apologized to me. Said he should have seen it earlier, should have questioned things when you called. Her voice cracks. Nobody has ever apologized to me before. Not for Austin's behavior. I wait, letting her process. I'm leaving him, she finally says. I called a lawyer this afternoon. Filed for divorce 2 hours ago. Something tight in my chest loosens. Good. I say. The fake DNA test, Alexis, that was wrong. I know. You made Patricia think those children weren't Austin's. You made his whole family question everything. Yes. I say. But it worked. Emma's voice drops to almost a whisper. It finally worked. They're not defending him anymore. They're not making excuses. Patricia actually told me she understands if I never want to see her again. What did you say? I ask. I said we would take it one day at a time. That forgiveness isn't automatic just because she has finally seen the truth. Through the phone, I hear children's voices. Lily asking about dinner. Dylan wanting to watch cartoons. I have to go, Emma says. The kids need me. But Alexis? Thank you. And don't ever do anything like that again. Deal. I say. 6 months later, I sit across from Emma at her new apartment. Smaller than the house, but hers. Paid for with a divorce settlement that Austin's father helped negotiate, his way of apologizing for years of looking the other way. Lily and Dylan play in their shared bedroom, their laughter floating through the open door. Austin moved in with Jessica last month, Emma says, stirring her coffee. Patricia hasn't spoken to him since the real DNA results came back. Proving the kids were his? I ask. Obviously. But the damage was done. She couldn't forgive him for putting her in that position, for making her defend him when he'd been lying the whole time. How are the kids handling the divorce? I ask. Emma's expression softens. Better than I expected. Worse than I hoped. They miss their dad, but they're starting to understand that sometimes love means distance. My phone buzzes. A text from an unknown number which says, "This is Robert. I wanted you to know that Emma and the children will always be considered family, regardless of Austin's choices. Thank you for caring enough to intervene, even in your unconventional way." I show Emma the message. She reads it, then looks at me. You know what the weirdest part is? I'm not even angry at you anymore. The DNA test was manipulative and wrong and potentially traumatic for everyone involved. But, I ask, but it was also the only thing that worked. Austin's family would never have believed me. They'd have found ways to excuse him, to blame me. But doubt about the children. She shakes her head. That cut through all the excuses. I'm sorry it had to come to that. I say, me too. Emma reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. But I'm not sorry you did it. Does that make me a terrible person? She asks. It makes you human. I say finally. Through the window, the sunset paints the sky in shades of orange and pink. A new beginning, even if the path to get here was morally questionable. Lily runs into the room, climbing onto Emma's lap. Mom, Dylan says we can't have ice cream before dinner. Emma laughs, kissing her daughter's forehead. Dylan's right. But after dinner, we'll have extra scoops. Lily beams, satisfied, and runs back to her brother. Thank you, Emma says again, quieter this time. For protecting us when I couldn't protect myself. I nod, understanding that some forms of protection require getting your hands dirty. Sometimes, the right thing and the ethical thing aren't the same. The fake DNA test sits in my desk drawer at home, printed evidence of my deception. I should destroy it. But I keep it as a reminder that love sometimes demands questionable choices, that protecting family isn't always clean or noble. Sometimes, it's just necessary.
If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and share it with someone who loves a good twist. And make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next one.